想と現実に一石を投じて個性を磨け結界悩むなんだよまた一つ消去頭からケツまでそれが我がエンタメだまだ信じないさ紐解いたシャ毎日蹴飛ばしてもっと舞い上がって Everybody put your hands up さあフライ翼になれ見てみたいな宇宙になれる君今が成長期新世界へ Everybody put your hands up さあフライさあフライきっと連鎖になりたい自分探す両方は大舞台へ忘れてた記憶の中でもう一度胸の高鳴りを聞け
Hey everybody, my name's Sean, and this is the Anime Revolution podcast. Again, I am joined by my wonderful co-host, Tepez.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our second podcast. We'll be discussing our first opinions on the current show Absolute Duo.
And the show, Death Parade. Our first review today is Death Parade, directed by Yuzuru Tachikawa, director of Death Billiards, and assistant director of Zonkyo no Terror. Death Parade is a 12-episode series covering the story of Dakeem, as well as his co-cast, Ona, Nona, Genti, and several others. The story takes place in Queen Dakeem, the mysterious bar where two random strangers, or seemingly random strangers, appear at the instant of their death. They're greeted by the mysterious white-haired Dakeem, bartender and judge of all things future for them, and challenges them to a death game of some sorts, within which the two contestants wager their lives to reveal their true natures. Dakeem uses these outbursts and deciphers the person's true nature in order to decide who wins and who loses, and ultimately decides whether they will go to heaven or whether they will go to hell. The main cast consists of Dakeem, the bartender, a very stoic, quiet, emotionalist man who passes cold judgment upon the contestants. Kurokami no Ona is the dark-haired woman who mysteriously appears in the Queen Dakeem, and little does she know, though, that something's wrong with her. You don't learn anything about her until around episode 5 or 6, so I'm not gonna talk about her much, but she's a assistant to Dakeem and Nona, and helps pass judgment onto the lost souls who come to the Queen Dakeem. Then there's Nona, the bluish silver-haired girl who's rather short, and she's another arbiter who passes judgment, or tries to pass judgment in whatever way she can. And the last main cast member is Genti. Genti is a hot-tempered redhead who appears in the form of a young boy who died, and it's revealed later that he's not actually a small child. He's a full-grown man who is very competitive with Dakeem, our main character, and causes a little bit of an uproar in the Queen Dakeem, and that conflict later resolves itself, however, and he proves to be quite useful. In addition to those cast members, though, the respected voice actors are a little bit less known to me than others, but they're still a respectable cast. From what I've seen so far, though, the voice for Genti is Wave from Akame ga Kill. He also played in Attack on Titan as Rainer. Dakeem's voice actor is even less well known, only showing up in few shows, not very many though. But of note, he played Natsugu from Log Horizon. Moving on into my opinions of individual episodes. Episode 1 of Death Parade was an introductory episode to show how the world kind of worked. A young couple who died goes to the Queen Dakeem, where Dakeem passes their souls on for judgment, and they engage in a game of death darts. In this game of darts, each tier of the dartboard is corresponded to a body part, and wherever these darts would land, the other member of the couple would be injured of some way. Like if I hit the spot on your heart, your heart would tighten up and you'd cough blood. And this couple experienced tremendous pain and suffering during this, and their true emotions came out because they both thought that if they lost, they would die. Little did they know that they didn't know that they were already dead though, because their memories completely wiped on arrival, except for the fact that they knew each other. They have no recollection of how they died or previous events to their death. After they play death darts, it's later revealed that the wife and the husband should have gone to heaven, supposedly, and Dakeem makes a major mistake and accidentally sends the wife to hell, when her true flaw wasn't in fact a flaw, it was a cover-up to ensure her husband would go to heaven still. After realizing his misjudgment, Dakeem remains stoic, however. He doesn't show very much emotion towards people because it's part of his job. However, Kurokami was more concerned and brought it up with Nona, and Nona praised her for her observation skills in this job and let her continue her work as Arbiter's assistant. Episode 2 goes behind the scenes of Episode 1. You get to see from Nona and Kurokami's perspective on how this sick, twisted game is played, and how judgment is passed. They look in on the couple playing darts, and the Arbiters, receive the people who died's memories before they do, so they can kind of see what the people who are playing the game are thinking before they even think it, and they piece together these small pieces of a puzzle to see the true nature of the human soul. And this is what allows them to pass proper judgment. But however, sometimes these fragments are just fragments, and they can't get a good idea of what's going on. So they have to determine from other factors like people breaking down during these games and sheer emotion that's being played out at that time to help decide how their judgment's going to be passed. And what I really like about the show, though, is how excruciating it can be to watch, like, these people being pushed in these horrendous ways, and how the heart and soul can bend, and the faults of humans and these demigods alike who can pass judgment in an instant, how they're both fallible. Episode 3 rolls around, and it's a repeat of previous episodes, essentially. Two more people walk into the bar, and that sounds like the beginning of a really bad joke, but it's literally two people walk into a bar, souls pass for judgment, roll in the next episode. It's a very episodic show, and that's good because it's only 12 episodes. My opinion of this show would change a lot if it was 24 episodes, I believe, Because watching 24 episodes of the same two people walk into a bar, one person goes up, one person goes down story doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. However, because it's 12 episodes long, and I think that they can bring the total plot and unravel the mystery of the Queen Dakeem with a nice little bow around it, and it'll be nice and pretty, I believe in the next 7 episodes they can close this show and make it worthwhile. Because the director, the cast, has all put in genuine emotion to this show, and they make me feel for every single character who passes through this bar. No matter whether they're right or whether they're wrong, I still feel attached. And watching these arbiters pass sometimes incorrect judgment, sometimes excellent judgment, really does kind of fix my view on how this sick, twisted bar works. I give it an 8.5 out of 10, and I recommend a solid watch. Because for anyone who likes episodic shows or mysterious setting horror shows, I think this is the show for you, because it has spouts of drama, romance, mystery surrounding how the bar functions. The mysterious characters themselves, we know almost nothing about our main cast, which is really strange because your main cast is supposed to be who you know the most about usually. But we know more about the side characters that just pass in and out through one episode than we do for the people who've been with us for almost 6. And I'm really excited to see how much we learn about Dakeem and Nona and Korokami, and I can't recommend this show enough for people. And I'm gonna let it go to Pez now, and he's gonna review a completely different type of show called Absolute Duo.
Hello, everyone. So now I'm gonna talk to you guys about my thoughts and how I feel about Absolute Duo. Well, first off, Absolute Duo was originally a light novel series by Takumi Higaragi Boshi, and there has been 7 novels published since 2012. So, Absolute Duo is an anime that revolves around Toru Kokonai, who is an irregular X-seed, as they say. Most of the Lucifers that I recall, as I believe they're called, were also known as a person's soul, is for some reason normally a weapon, usually like a sword, dagger, anything, normally something that you would cut someone with. That normally is meant to stab. For some reason, Toru's is a shield, which was classified as an irregular. Soon later, another Lilith Bristol came, Lilith Bristol came to be an exception and found that her weapon, while him and Julie decided to go shopping at the mall because Toru felt that they should go out since they have not left the campus yet. That it would be nice for her to get some nice new clothes and for them to hang out a little. And so Toru decided to ask Hodaka if she'd come since he had no idea on what would be nice on a girl, and he kind of wanted a woman's opinion. But she declined and told him a few good places to go and look for clothes. And soon during it, they went to a store and got a bunch of clothes for Julie. And then they decided to stop off and get some gelato. Which, in fact, if none of you have had real gelato is way better. Basically, gelato is an Italian-style ice cream, which is a lot more thicker, and you can. There's such a large variety of flavors. It's phenomenal. One of my favorite kind of gelatos, though, is chocolate with brownies. For people, there's also Margarita, Bailey's. There's a tiramisu one, which is very, very good. And but so they decided to and get some and share. And during it, and so they found, and well, at the same time, Hodaka and Tachibana decide to spy on them, which is typical in with every girl for some reason. I don't know why. And during their shopping, a bunch of thugs try to go after Hodaka and Tachibana, and so Toru decided to help defend them because he kind of figured out that they're gonna be following him for some reason. And when he went to go protect them, they all got shot, the thugs, and he looked behind and noticed that with Bristol's blaze was a rifle. That's why she was classified as an exception. The fact that hers, though, has been was a rifle, and normally they're not supposed, your soul is not supposed to materialize, which is strange for hers. But currently the series creates a somewhat unique life with a character who acts nervous when he touches Julie in the wrong place by mistake or something is misunderstood, which happens a lot. I don't know why. But so far, what I feel about the show, I find that Absolute Duo to be quite good, but not an oh my god, this is amazing like some other shows such as Code Geass, Clannad, or as everyone knows, Spice and Wolf, who is Sean's favorite. But it is quite entertaining to see. It is quite entertaining to see how Julie can create such an awkward misunderstanding, which gets Toru into trouble by the other girls, which is funny how he reacts to it. She seems to be a bit of an airhead, I could say, because she doesn't understand sometimes what she said was wrong, and it creates a misunderstanding where it sounds very, very pervertive. Like saying that like he held me last night, which Tachibana misunderstood when she also said that we slept together. Which normally when someone says I slept with them, well, it's not the appropriate way. And but with that, I have to respect Toru though, in one very high aspect. Is that he pardon me, because how he acts towards Julie, it is very, very respectful, because he's not, even though Liv Bristol is a very strong fighter and wants to be his duo, he remains very loyal to Julie as a partner, because he made a vow that they would remain duo partners until they die, and he won't break that vow, which is very faithful and respectful. Because most people would be like, oh, I found someone stronger. Well, bye-bye. But him, he wants to be with her. And from what I can tell is that he has a thing for her, which, obviously, there's always going to be some romance in any anime. But, Lilith, about Miss Bristol. Sorry, I cannot pronounce. I always get tongue-tied when I pronounce her first name, so I'm just going to refer to her as Bristol from now on. Bristol is very stuck-up, which at times can be amusing, but she hasn't understood that in a way. She understands somewhat, but doesn't at the same time, that he doesn't want to leave Julie for her as a duo, because he wants to be with Julie. And Hodaka. Well, Hodaka, I found her to be very adorable because, well, she thinks she's not very good and is useless, but she's stronger than she gives herself credit for, and she's quite a joy because she acts so silly, and that makes everyone laugh. She wants to become stronger so she won't keep Tachibana back, but she has a lot more strength than others do, which, in my opinion, like what Toru said that the fact that she has probably the strongest full on attack because he was able to push Toru back so easily, even when no one else could. And on to Tachibana herself is amusing too because when she was apologizing to Toru in the gymnasium for the misunderstanding, she made it seem awkward and ended up falling on top of Toru, making it even more awkward, which was hilarious in my opinion. And the fact that they would get up was they were trying to get up but couldn't. It was even more funny. And about the teacher Rito Tsukimi, I find her to be she's honestly my favorite character right now because I see a lot of her in another show that I let my top 10. Problem Children Come from Another World, aren't they? She kind of resembles Black Rabbit to me, and Black Rabbit is such an awesome character. Like she has that really childish and amusing personality that is very entertaining and also adorable at the same time. But she also has that double personality where one minute she can be very sweet, and then her other personality she won't give a second thought to want to kill someone. Which when I found that out, when I found that personality of her, I was somewhat intrigued, but didn't like it at the time. But as the story got through a little more, I decided, like, you know what? It's very interesting with what they did with her because she has this other side to her. And when a character has another side to them, it creates something different about them that you can like more or not like. And in my opinion, it's a lot better that she has another side to her over just this all happy childish personality. But this show to me, I would recommend it if you want something entertaining, if you like school life, you want a few laughs somewhat, or if you want a lot of laughs. I find this very amusing. I rate it about a 7.2 ish, 7.3, and it's very good. It's very good if you'd like, but there are some things that could be reworked, in my opinion. Like I find the stories kind of progressing a bit too quickly. Me, I like more of a slower pace. I don't like I don't like shows that that like 12 episode series that go for where you have the start and then by episode 12 the series is already done because it progressed super quickly. If the show becomes like at least 24 episodes, 25, 26 minimum, it'd be very good because that's an average size in my opinion, and it creates more where you get used to the characters and you can get attached to them and spend more time with them in a way. So back to you, Sean.
Um, I have one thing to say about this show. The main voice actor, um, for Toru is one of my personal favorite Japanese voice actors, as he has also done Kirito from Sword Art Online.
Yoshitsugu Matsuoka.
hmm And he's also played another pretty good character in another harem ecchi show, Arata Katsuga in Trinity 7, which is another very popular show from last season. He also played as Lubbock in Akamega Kill, which is another one of my probably top 30 action anime of all time. And currently this season, he's also playing Yu Montanobe in Unlimited Fafnir, who is also another blundering blunderer of some sorts in the harem world, I guess. If that's one way I heard it, and I attribute the blunderer trope for male characters in harem to the Otaku Spirit podcast, which is one of my favorite podcasts currently, and probably my favorite anime podcast just because of how consistent they are and how good their community is to me. And and
Yeah,
also that main
but let me
character
stop
played
you for a
Sora.
second. Let me stop you for a second, though. Uh, I see it's classified as ecchi and harem, as you say, but in my opinion, I don't really see much harem or ecchi, to be honest. I see it more as just a little snippet, if you could say more like teasing of that, trying to tease you of that style, but without giving you that full plate of the style.
Well, this is the kid who's like most watched show is Queen's Blade though. Like on ecchi, like I would say a solid ecchi show would be something like um
High School DxD is more of an ecchi than this
oh,
in my
High School
classification.
DxD is the ecchi. Haganai, good ecchi show. Um, Basically any like No Game in My Life could also be considered with having ecchi themes in it though, even though it's not like specifically an ecchi show though. I mean,
Rosary plus Vampire is more ecchi than, in my opinion.
it doesn't matter though. It's still a tag on it though. For those who do not like ecchi shows and do not enjoy like the sort of blundering main character, Absolute Duo is not the show for you because you can parallel it very, very, very similarly to Trinity 7 and Unlimited Fafnir. Actually, Unlimited Fafnir is follows almost the exact same main character progression line because an ordinary boy or a seemingly ordinary boy attends a high school surrounded by beautiful women, and little do they know that both main characters are irregulars in their given world. One is called a D, who has the power of a dragon, and the only male character in the entire world that we know of so far to hold this power, so he is given special privileges to attend an all-girls school.
In
Absolute
what
duo then,
in,
Toru
in what
Konoge
show?
in Unlimited Fafnir. And then you have
Ah,
Toru Kokone, main character, only boy to wield a shield, has all the girls fawning over him. Well, what do you know? You have found yourself a classic archetype.
well, if you'd like someone else similar to Fafnir, you say it's just an one male and an all girl school, correct?
Yes.
Well, another show that's very similar to that would be Infinite Stratus. For those of you who have not seen it, Infinite Stratus is about a boy, Orimura, and he is the only male in the world that is able to control an IS unit. And when he goes to the academy, he finds out that his sister, Miss Orimura, is one of the teachers, and his sister, Miss Urimura, was had lost a championship title because someone had abducted him, and she gave up her title. She uh, didn't go to the championship to go save her brother. And as the first season was very mild, and then when season two came out, it became very, very ecchi, and it if they made it one more notch, it would have been basically close to High School DxD in a way.
Yeah, I can't say the same for the show I reviewed, Death Parade. There's little to absolutely no ecchi and fan service in that show, just as another label. If I had to classify Death Parade in any sort of fashion, I would say that it is thriller, drama, mystery with sub-themes of mini romances tucked all into one nice little snowball compacted. and served to you on a nice little platter. Um, I've also watched the first 6 episodes of Absolute Duo, and I can say that in a short, nice little package, that Absolute Duo is follows the same sort of pattern as many other shows in the same archetype that it has. Um, Male character goes to school, girls fawn over him. He gets beaten down and eventually overcomes his certain trouble. Um,
Every high school boy.
yeah, no, whenever there's a like a description in a show
Mine's
that an
every hot
average
girl
high school
going
boy,
after him. Mine's
uh,
every hot girl going after him. But Absolute Duo is a good show. Death Parade is supposedly a good show. But I found there was but if I had put kind of tags, I would say this was drama, comedy, slice of life, school life, action, thriller, uh, possibly fantasy. Actually, too is no because the reason why I say possibly fantasy is because their souls are used as weapons, which is different. Do you have any opinions on that as well, or?
no. Um, I all I have to say though, for this season, it's stronger than the. It's actually not strong at all. It's pretty weak season for shows, and I don't know how to think about it yet, but we'll see how both shows end up.
I'm hoping Absolute Duo will develop better and create more connection towards this. It will create more connection with all the main characters, and I'm hoping what will happen with Rita Tsukimi. I really like the teacher, not because she runs me a Playboy Bunny, but
I think
just
she's
because
everyone's
I
favorite
love her.
character.
Yeah, probably. I think that's the number one way is because have a cute girl dressed in a bunny outfit and as a maid on top of that, and while you have any pervert's fantasy.
And you heard it. In our conclusion, Absolute Duo scores a 7.2 or 7.3 out of 10, and Death Parade comes in with a solid 9, no, 8.5 out of 10. I was about to change it to a 9, but I the episodic nature of the show stops it from the plot progressing so far. In 7 weeks, we're going to come back for both shows and give our final opinions. At least on my show, I believe that Absolute Duo is longer, but at least I will, and I will give my full review on the show.
So please leave us any comments, any opinions on any animes to review, discuss about, anything else you would like us to add into this discussion, and we will be happy to review. But be warned, we will not be doing any harem like Queen's Blade, etc. That's I've had enough of
Well,
that.
we can, but enough if you have to request it, and we have to have good reason to watch it because I'm not going to rewatch it. Um, Speaking of that, though, any shows that you find personal favorites or you see any current shows that are airing right now that you think we should watch that not already watching. I'm watching a lot of shows, so you could probably ask me which show you want me to review, and I'll probably give you a good, decent response on it. And we'll be back again sometime soon to do a review over Contact Collection and Assassination Classroom, two shows that I am watching currently.
And also to jump in as well, I will also tell you a little more how I am enjoying Spice and Wolf. Thought I would mention that, just knowing how I had originally stated last last time that I was currently watching Spice and Wolf. So I will give you my opinion on it and let you know maybe I might want to add it into my top 10 list as well. So thank you for listening. Talk to you guys next time, and have a great day or a great night depending on where you currently are and when you watch this.
Adios. We'll see you in the next one. Join us next week for a review on Assassination Classroom and Kontai Collection. See you in the next video, guys.